afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Jonesboro Rotary. I am Phil Naked, right about so just imagine there's one there. Kevin Kirkman is going to give us our invocation today. Kevin, thank you.
Let us pray. Open our eyes that we may see. Open our ears that we may hear. Touch our hearts that we may love. Clear our minds that we may think. Strengthen our hands that we may work. Amen.
Thank you. Good to have everybody here today. Good to see Larry back. Congratulations to the Indians. Everything's going well. We've got 19 days for our barbecue. So while we are having a program today, I'll be giving out tickets to everybody. We're not. This club thrives with the president. So I figured we get everything done in 19 days, and we will. I didn't get things out earlier because David had them. I was out. I didn't get them out. So, but we still will do well with it. Has anybody, Richard's not here. I got an email about the No Scare Fair and about us helping with parking again. Does anybody know anything more about that? I'll get a hold of Richard and find out what that's all about. I know we have done that in the past. Before I go any further with this, I'm going to call on David Spivey to get a presentation.
Thank you, President Dave. I'd like to ask Jim Miller to step up here.
I just do it.
You didn't have to dress up for this, Jim. Jim, I have, of course, obviously Jim is a Paul Harris fellow, and last year he became a Paul Harris Society member, and so you have a new Paul Harris pin with a ruby on it. And so you're not only a Paul Harris fellow, you're a Paul Harris fellow 6 times over now. So congratulations.
And Billy runs down the green balls. Dan, before you put that in your mouth. Yes, sir. Give us our. Nothing about this.
Do not see any guests at all, is that correct today? Okay, does anybody, Andy, you have an announcement?
Yes, that time of year, and we're going to give everyone an opportunity to not have to cook on the Saturday before Election Day, which you won't have to cook either since we're doing our fundraising. So the Lee County Arts Council Shared Abundance fundraiser was going to be on Saturday, November 6th from noon to 4 p.m. at the VFW post on Web Street. The Arts Council gets a small grant from the state, which they have to match, and we provide support for local artists and local arts organizations in the town, including the Jazz Society, the Lee County Orchestra, the Russian Palace Club, and a number of other organizations. We don't directly support the Temple Theater because they get money directly from the State Arts Council. But what we do at times is support visiting artists who performs at the Temple Theater. So we're actually supporting the Temple Theater as well. We just have to kind of work around it. But this fundraiser, we have probably 12 to 15 different soups, salad, bread, entertainment by the Temple teens, and I know there's other entertainment, and it skips me what it is right now. The tickets are $15 each, and you get to take a handmade, local pottery bowl home with you for that $15. So you get a nice piece of pottery, and you get a wonderful meal and entertainment. So it's a real bargain.
Thank you.
I have tickets if anyone would like them. I'd be more than happy to sell them to you. And I'll pass the flyer around.
Thank you. Thank you.
As most of you know, that I'm involved with Scout Troop 942 at St. Luke United Methodist Church. We're in the process of, yes, it's not Halloween, yes, it's not Thanksgiving, but we're selling Christmas trees and wreaths at this time. Your trees and wreaths will be in on December 3rd, which I know is usually where a lot of people sit there and say, well, we like to have ours on Thanksgiving. But you buy those trees on Thanksgiving, you are buying trees that were cut as of today. October's trees are being cut. Our trees are usually cut on the Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll pick them up on Thursday, and your trees will last you until mid-January if you want a good, well-survived tree. Matter of fact, our president's brother-in-law kept his wreath up on his door for almost 6 months as it stayed green. And we're real proud of it because he likes to brag about his wreath staying green for 6 months.
That's good.
But if you want a wreath or a tree, call me or see me, and I'll hook you up with one. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Of course, you know it all benefits the Boy Scouts, and what a wonderful group that is.
Yes.
Okay, Chris.
And two things. First of all, the final dress rehearsal for Tuesdays with Maury was yesterday. The show's awesome. It is sad, but it will make you laugh. It may make you cry. The show's soft opening is today. Tomorrow night is opening night. If you're available, come on out. It's worth seeing. Based on the book by Mitch Albom. If you're not familiar with the story, during the writer's strike, Mitch Albom got linked up with a college professor and was able to visit him while he was in hospice for 14 weeks until the end of his life. He died of Lou Gehrig's disease. But this is the tale of those 14 weeks, and it's a really, really poignant tale. Second thing is that the most often asked question I've gotten over the last 4+ years that I've been at the temple is, are you ever in any shows? And I've always been able to say no. However, I've been roped in and will be a part of our Halloween presentation of War of the Worlds. We're going to do a reenactment of the original radio show, Orson Welles' classic War of the Worlds, and there's some other things that we're rolling in there, some commercials, and we'll do a Ripley's Believe It or Not bit. But please come out and support me, because if we play to an empty house, it'll break my heart. It's going to be fun. If you don't want to hand out candy, come on out 7 o'clock on Halloween night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Chris, are you Orson?
I am Orson in a couple places, yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes.
You can add one more thing to your resume. Actor.
There you
Right?
go.
Love it, love it, love it. Janice, yes ma'am.
I want to thank the club for any help that you do provide to No Scare Fair. I saw Richard came in, maybe he can talk about the parking thing. We did just have the candlelight vigil. Just as a piece of information, we memorialized and honored 63 men, women, and children ages 2 to 70 who died this past year at the hands of domestic violence. That's not just in this county, that's in the state, but it's pretty horrendous. So thank you for your support for Haven and all of that. The other thing that I wanted to say is, of course, you know, this is the first day of early voting, and if any of you need advice on the school board, who to vote for, or the county commissioners, I'm sure Chris Lambert or Janice Davis will be glad to advise you. Just saying.
Thank you, Janice.
Yes, I do. First, to go along with what Chris was saying about the Temple Theater, I've got 4 complimentary tickets for tomorrow night's showing, free of charge. But what you have to do is to call and get your seat reservation if you're interested in them. I've got 4 that I'm willing to give you. Next, tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon over at Rogers and Pickard's Funeral Home is the memorial service for Pat. Okay? Pat was our treasurer for several years. and she was a good, faithful Rotarian. And then after that sermon, that ceremony, then they're going to have a reception here at the Flame. And so everyone, especially our Rotarians, should be able to be there if possible, because she was a great person.
The paper said sudden.
Yes.
Do you know the circumstance?
All I know is she'd been having some difficulty, medical. And so her husband had told her, you know, Monday morning, make your reservation, go see the doctor, and have him take care of you. Well, evidently, he had called to see how everything went, and she didn't answer the telephone. So he ran back home. He works at the State Department there in Rotary.
Yeah.
And he went home and found her.
Thank you, Yvonne. Carrie, what you got? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah.
Like 5 minutes before to the thing. Well, you know, everyone here on the 20th retirement ring, I spent 10 years on recruitment duty. So I'm gonna help the Rotary Club to get in one big fish. John Maxwell. John Maxwell, I'm calling you out. Putting you on video, I'm putting you on YouTube. So you got to join the Rotary Club. And I'm gonna carry this website to everyone in the hospital so they can see it. Okay? So you're being put on notice.
Thank you, Terry. Some of our recruits are a little bit evasive, and we have to track them down sometimes. Larry's been known to chase them around the hospital a couple of times, hopefully get them to come. But anyways, hopefully that will happen real soon. So, any other announcements or bags? Yeah, Richard.
I just gotta make Nose Care Fair a little bit bigger. That remember, we have supported this every year in the past with both volunteers inside and in the parking lot. I'm sure that student communities are a help. We have supported them by buying a door, and so hopefully we're doing all of these good things to help the kids have a good time and help them raise money for Haven, or help Haven raise money. So I wanted to get credit because my wife asked John Crumpton if I'd given the announcement, and Crumpton couldn't remember. So all of a sudden, she didn't know if I was at the meeting or not. Put it in the bulletin.
Oh, yeah, we're in the brags. Larry.
I got a bunch of brags. First, the trip that I just had was terrific. We went to see our son, one in Calgary. We were up there with him for over a week, and then we went to California to see the other son. Both are doing well. We're just really happy with them. They're just too far away. We don't get a chance to see them that often when the kids move around. But it could be that one's going to be moving back east in another year. So you never move to where the kids are, because the kids are going to move. So that was fun. And where's Kimmy?
She did brag on her cubbies.
I saw that. That was one of my brags. Terry, thank you very much for keeping me up to date. I mean, it's wonderful when you travel. You can always check in locally and find out what the club's doing, because Terry does it for us. So, yeah, I'm dressed for it. I'm waiting for my cousin to call back. Jim, did you get tickets yet?
No.
You gotta try.
I'm going online today.
My cousin lives up there in Cleveland, so we're hoping that he's able to get some tickets, and I'll be gone again if he does. But go Indians! I kind of hope that it winds up with the Cubs playing the Indians, because both are in such a drought for the World Series. It'd be neat to see them play. So, there you go. Thank you.
Chime in there, along with Larry's announcement about the Indians. You know, I told you 6 weeks ago my father-in-law had a heart attack. He's a big Cleveland fan, whatever sport he's into.
He called up yesterday. He sounded fantastic. He said he walked his wife with a walker out to her car. So he's getting a lot better. And the announcement of them going to the series just was the best therapy he could ever get. He's doing really well. It really sparked him up, let me tell you. So any other brags or announcements come for the club this time? Jim? Yeah, okay. I'll take it.
I'm gonna add,
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna add for the Indians.
All right.
Go try.
If anybody, nobody knows for sure, but 1948, the last time the Indians won, they beat the Red Sox in a one-game playoff to go to the World Series and beat the Boston Braves. And this year, they eliminated the Red Sox in the division series. So, who knows? God bless. We are over $400. Shelter Box is active in Iraq, working with other agencies to respond to 25,000 plus refugees who are trying to get out of Mosul and the areas around Mosul. And we've got 2 teams on the ground in Haiti. And the biggest problem with Haiti, as you could appreciate, is how to get things to where they need to go. Because transportation is extremely difficult. Thank you all very much for your wonderful support.
Are you going down to Haiti?
I'm still on the availability list, we'll see.
Not next week.
Hopefully not. But if I get tapped, I go.
Okay, back to you, President David.
Thank you so much. Janice, you want to talk about Character Plus in your thing, or you want to talk about it now? Or?
I'll do it as part of my thing.
You got it. Okay. So we have another Rotary to give the program today. So here she is, Janice.
Oh no, that ain't rap. Listen for the chicken, November 8th, chicken.
So I have half the program today. As my husband used to say, you push a button and I'm talking that long. I don't even have to think about it. So somebody needs to watch time. They already watched the time for the other half, although y'all might rather have me. You're proving that. So I have 2 things to do today. One is to catch you guys up on Character Plus. I get to do that because I was with John and David, Character Plus, last week. The first time ever I had made it to no, wait a minute. Which school was it? Edwards, without going to England first. The first time ever. I've always go to the like 3 times. Like, what is the matter? You know, talking about character with 10-year-olds is not as easy as you think, right? It's a lot of 10-year-olds in that gym. And this was the second time, and this time we were talking about responsibility. Well, that got me thinking. Responsibility. So that's the first part and the second part of our program, because when you're talking to 10-year-olds about responsibility, they're pretty much talking about themselves in relationship to who? Their parents and their teachers. And their siblings if you push it. Their friends, maybe. But it's very egocentric. I mean, it's really focused inward. And of course, character, it's about your traits, right? So talking about responsibility, so I started thinking about adult responsibility. And that changes. I said, okay, so who, I mean, we know what responsibility is. It's being accountable, right? It's owning up. As the counselor put it, it's doing what you ought to do before you do what you want to do. That was pretty good for a 10-year-old. I like that. So, but I'm thinking about responsibility for adults. I don't have any little kids anymore. I'm not responsible for helping them get their homework done. I had 3 granddaughters. I pretty much said, okay, here's my responsibility to you. I'm gonna get you your first car. It's gonna be used, and you're gonna hate it. Just go ahead and name it, because it's gonna be old and ugly, and you're gonna hate it, but you're gonna get it, right? I'm gonna put you through college. It's gonna be a state school, or you're gonna get a scholarship. And one of the three did the scholarship, not state school thing, the other. I said, and you get one wedding. I don't care how many you have, but I'm paying for one. That was my responsibility, and now my responsibility, and then I had responsibility to my spouse and to my children and grandchildren somewhat, and now it's just kind of me and the what else. So that's the question I'm going to ask you. As adults, and you're talking about responsibility, what pops in your head? Anybody have some ideas? Who are you responsible to and for? What? And you know where I'm going, don't you? It is a trap. Because if you didn't say in your mind's eye, the organizations to which you have pledged some allegiance, i.e. this one, then I'm going to ask you why not. And I'm going to ask you to rethink that. So we talk a lot about responsibility. The kids have a lot of ideas. They get responsibility and respect and honesty and all those good things all jumbled up together, and that's a good thing because they really are a part and parcel of what makes us good. So I'm going to say to you, what, again, does it mean to be responsible to this organization? Now, that was a little bit of a setup, right? If you recall, we had a work session and we were really full of good ideas. You notice I didn't just say we were really full of it. We really were full of good ideas. But if that's all it is, then maybe we were just really full of it. What has happened to those good ideas? And that's the piece that I'm really to bring to you today. And so I'm going to read the list. I mean, I would say there are lots of ways we're responsible for this organization, right? The way we contribute internally to the organization, the way we contribute externally to the community, right? The way we support one another. I mean, Chris and I were laughing. Y'all two people running for office. Who stood up when he did the prayer? I don't know what's up with that. Right? So we're all responsible for having this be a thriving organization, whether that's selling our tickets or building our membership. Now, there is something in it for us when we build our membership, right? The more of us there are to carry out the mission, one, the more effective we come, and the less each one of us has to bear as a responsibility. So that's the whole point of this. I'm going to read some names, and if you're part of the group that said, yes, we put this name up, I'd like a status report. Now that's also a setup because I know the status. Right? So I'm getting you to think about how can we move forward this list of potential names to membership. You know, we got the names. We don't have the members. So what can we do with this? And so if you know somebody, if you know them, raise your hand. Nate Glover. Oh, we're going to have mystery people, I can tell you. Christine Amherst. What is this? Don't look the teacher in the eye? Is that the deal? Stay low? I get it. I used to do all that. Christine Amherst. I'm going to read these names. An enrichment center representative. Come on, there are enough of us old in here that we can make that one happen. The Pilgrim's Pride manager. Are you working on it? Mm-hmm. All right.
You'll probably get the chicken first. Baby.
All right. Steve Cox Plumbing. Are you working on it? Yeah. All right, good. That's 2. Cindy.
I'm working on it. White.
Oh, White. Oh, I had that backwards. Okay, that was a typo. White, baby.
Cindy White.
Okay, good. You're working on it. Danny Riggs of Johnson Riggs Furniture. You're working on it. Well, all right, so So far, we've got some people that are bearing the load. Jeremy Isom. A VA rep. Ken Harden. You working on it? Neil Coggins of Fix It Plumbing. I think I put his kid through school. I think I probably ought to check on that one. Sandra Bridges from Home Health.
What?
Is it Wanda? Oh, Sandra. I have no idea. Her name was just on the list. I do not know this person. John Maxwell, we heard.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're working on that. The Lowe's food manager. Somebody was going to be shaking her.
I was supposed to, and I didn't come through because every time I'd go there, he wouldn't be there.
No, it's a
It's
she.
a she now.
It's a she, oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
I'll try again.
I talked to her and she said she would come.
Okay, I'll try again.
You want to tell?
Tom Snell, Hawkins House.
I got his email, so I can email him.
Who is
I'll
it?
talk to
I
Tom.
think Sandra, I used to rent from her when I got this place.
I'm
So
saying.
I'll probably have her email address as well.
Okay,
Email it.
okay. Jeff Lee from Chatley.
Jeff who?
It's Jeff, yeah.
Oh, Jeff,
Jeff,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Somebody didn't type very well. We know who that is. Tom McSwain from Pinnacle.
I know Tom, I'll talk to him.
Is there a chance though? I mean, I think we've tried the town before.
Is what? What?
Haven't we tried to get town before?
We may have, I know, he used to be in Kiwanis, but I'm not sure if he is anymore.
The point of this is, we all know people. I'm guilty as well. I was talking to my Haven folks last night. One of the young women said, well, how do you get in that? I went, and I'll swing back around, and she's one of our young folks. So I'm as guilty as we all are. Our plates are so full. Just raise this one up a little bit. This club does a world of good. I know when I was looking around at civic clubs to join, I went to several. And I actually chose this one for a variety of reasons. One, you were so funny. I didn't know what else to say, and I had only seen you in not funny ways, so I mean, I was so excited about it. That I just loved it. And that's where you knew all that you did. We do. So just raise it up. Let's make this be the best that it can be, and that's by continuing to get the very best people that we can. So that's what all of this is about. Now, I'm going to read you just a few, to wrap up, I know my time's up, read you just a few of the quotes that I shared with the children that I like. The time is always right to do what is right. Pretty good lesson, nothing wrong with it. Never point a finger where you have not lended a hand.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, there was just a couple more. In the final analysis, the one quality that all successful people have is the ability to take on responsibility. Now, if ever there was a room full of successful people, this is it. The price of greatness is responsibility. That's a Winston Churchill. You all know. Every person who has changed the world, and substitute community if you wish, has taken responsibility for something that mattered not just to them, but to mankind. Isn't that what we do? I get inspired. This one you will recognize once I get to the end. The kids didn't want to get to the end. Quit making excuses. Quit putting it off. Quit complaining about it, or just dreaming about it. Quit whining about it, crying about it, believing you can't, worrying if you can, waiting until you're older. Make a plan, and just do it. Mikey. Thank you.
One of the other parts of doing the membership program is what we're doing next week. And first of all, I need a show of hands of everybody in this room that are going to be able to get to Carolina Trace next week for the meeting from noon until 1. Okay, it's about half here, so we'll send an email out. We've reserved for our club members 25 spaces, and in hopes of having another 25 come from Carolina Trace. Before we get into the Trace effort, Nash, could you explain to the club what you're going to be doing on our behalf when you go to the seminar in November?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be going to, when is it, it's November 18th and 19th, to,
High Point?
High Point, yeah. It's the Young Professionals, Summit, as far as, recruiting and, trying to get younger members into our clubs.
Yeah, this is a key for Rotary. And I'm glad that they're putting this kind of emphasis worldwide. I'm looking at millennials, that group up from 25 to 35, somewhere in that range, and tapping into this wealth of a resource of young people who can get involved in Rotary, get involved early. A lot of us came to Rotary late like in the 40s or 45. Because nobody really asked us to get involved before that, or made accommodations for us, because there's some things that you have to try to do in order to make that happen for younger people to be able to join. And Rotary's making a lot of efforts to get to the point where we can accommodate schedules for younger people. And so this information is going to be presented, it's a Friday night and Saturday conference. And Amber Cameron, who is the past president of Sanford, is instrumental in this. She's really in charge of the district effort, and Amber's very, very good at recruiting. And I think there'll be somewhere, I think they have reservations for up to about 75. They didn't want to get a group that is too large, so you can't exchange ideas, but large enough that a lot of ideas can be brought back to our club. So we're counting on a lot of the things that you learn to come back and help us recruit that group. And I don't think there's any reason why we can't look to maybe a number of around 5 folks in that age group that we can start recruiting as soon as you come back with some of the tools on how to go about doing it. But back to next week, when we had our meeting with Janice and we were talking about ideas on how to recruit, Carolina Trace is a huge opportunity for us because there's a lot of former Rotarians there. There's a lot of people that have moved in there that are looking for opportunities to serve in the community and just don't know how to make that connection. So the board finally decided, let's go move our meeting out there, go to the Trace, and invite people in. There's 7, I think, Rotarians from Trace, and we've asked each one of those Rotarians to invite at least 2. So we're going to be around 14 or 15 just from that number, and then we're looking for the information that's coming back from the Trace Talks that we put out early this month, and a blast that went out yesterday or the day before saying we're going to be doing this, and if you're interested in being involved in the community and giving back, the Jonesboro Rotary Club has got an awful lot to offer. Plus we have a lot of fun together. I think that's a lot it's an important part of our sales effort is to talk to people about how much fun it is for us to come together in fellowship. This isn't just a club where you sit and you eat and you just kind of retire at your table. This is a club that is very involved. We think about one another. It kind of reminds me, and Jim, you probably feel the same way. We're like the Cleveland Indians. It's a variety of good ball players, maybe not a bunch of all-stars who are getting high pay for what they do, but they come together. You know, when you saw, or we saw, that young kid, 24 years old, who's only pitched 11 innings and came in with a masterful performance yesterday was unbelievable. Well, I couldn't help but think about the number of people that we have in this club that do that. They step up and they are willing to do what's necessary for the rest of the team. My job today is just to confirm the email that I sent out to everybody that's going to be asked to participate in this, because what this is kind of a show and tell. We want people to come in. We don't want to make them feel under any pressure, although I'll have a bunch of pins available, but we can't put them on that same day. But we want them to know what we do. And so David obviously is coordinating the whole hour, and so he's going to do the welcome and what's Rotary and what's Jonesboro Rotary specifically. So a short overview of how David looks at Rotary in our club. John then steps up and talks about youth service, because when you think about it, so much of what we do is around youth service, Character Plus, and all the other things that we get involved with throughout the year. And we need to let these folks know how they can help and get involved with that. Community service and projects and the Rotary Foundation. David Spivey will handle a brief summary of our barbecue, the popsicle, what we do for CUOC and Backpack Pals. A variety of things will fall under community. As far as international service, we need to get out there and tell people all the things that we do internationally. And we don't take enough credit, and I would hope maybe next week that we can put an article in the paper. I don't know whether Ed's gonna have a chance to do this, but Polio Plus Worldwide is going to be emphasized on Tuesday next week, or is it Monday, David? One day next week. 24th. Is gonna get emphasis worldwide to let the world know what we're trying to do with polio and the elimination of polio. So Ed's gonna talk about that briefly next week. Stop Hunger Now, Neil, will you be able to cover what we've been doing there? Which, you know, I would bet that there's like 2% of tracers know anything about Stop Hunger Now. And I think this is a good selling point to tell them what we've done in packing almost 200,000 meals, something like that, since the beginning that we've been involved in that. Jim, Shelter Box, you're not giving presentations next week anyplace else, right?
No, I'll be there.
You'll be there, okay. And this is a really key one too, and I don't know, Jim, do you need an overhead projector for this?
No, what I was gonna do, I was gonna bring the box.
Oh, okay.
And just put some items out and my vertical and just do a little off the cuff 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I'll do the international projects and let everybody know how involved this club has been helping folks, including what we're doing with even though we didn't get a district grant, it's an international project that really was brought to us by Yvonne. So we'll talk about all that, and just to bring you up to date, all the money has been collected from the clubs and district for our project in Mexico. Since the money has to be placed in a trust fund down in Mexico, there's a little bit more involved in establishing the bank account for that trust fund, because the money cannot come out until the trust fund is satisfied that it's going to the right place. When you're talking about big bucks like we're talking about, this is a $500,000 grant. It's got to be followed very carefully. So I would assume that that bank account will be set up in the next couple of weeks. Installation of new members. We'll also bring in, as a corporate member next week, Carolina Trace. And Roberto will be joining next week, towards the end of the meeting. Yvonne's going to do the family of Rotary and the discussion of things that we've done before and plans that we have for this year. Doug, can you help us with the membership information and forms at the end of the meeting?
Yeah, David, can you bring some extra brochures?
Okay. And then it wraps up with David doing the close of the meeting, and thanks for everybody there. Our hope out of this, and maybe we can do something like this on an annual basis out there, is that we wind up with about 5 new members from Carolina Trace. There's at least 10 former Rotarians that live out there now, and they know Rotary. So I'm hoping that some of those folks are wanting to reconnect, and there's lots more people who come from areas all over the country who've also been involved in service projects and service clubs, who I think could be great Rotarians for us. So I hope by the end of the day that we wind up with at least 5 out of the hopefully 25 that might be coming, that will express an interest to us. We're not going to go, as I said, it's not going to be a heavy push on it. We want them to be aware of what we do, and then we'll do the follow-up later. Any questions about what next week's going to be all about? With the hands in the air, there's about 14 hands in the air. So I'm hoping that when John sends out a blast, we wind up with another 10 or 11 people that can make trades. No other questions? No questions at all?
I've got an announcement I forgot to make. The Lee County Harvest Walk is coming up on November 5th. It's on Saturday. It starts at 9 o'clock at First Presbyterian Church. This is something that the Jonesboro Rotary Club has participated in the past. I think this year it's pretty much going to be on an individual basis. I have one envelope here. I've got J.C. Perry's name attached to it. If you need any more envelopes, if anybody would like this envelope, they're certainly welcome to it. But he stopped in my shop and asked me if I'd make this announcement. So,
What's the date again?
November 5th. It's a Saturday. Lee County Harvest Walk. Sponsored by the Sanford Civitan and the Churches of Lee County. Benefits CUOC Haven, Bread Basket, Meals on Wheels, Outreach Missions, Homeless Shelters, Lee County Backpack Pals, and Family of Promise.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Larry, thank you for that program. Janice, also next week will be pretty good. Looking forward to it. Jeff.
All right, we got $71 today. Winner's getting 36. I'm gonna have my lovely Vanna White pick one out for me.
Lovely, talented.
There we are. It's gonna be 4643.
You good?
What's it at? Andy's.
What do you want to do with it?
You'll get it back in the next couple of weeks. Quick board meeting after the meeting today, and Neil, you want to leave us, get us out of here?
Okay, four-way test. Things say or do. First, is it truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill
partnerships, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Don't forget to vote.